lower division champions, especially Makuuchi man, Koto Shoho's younger brother, who done really well. So Mika, me and you have spoke about this young man before, so I would love to know your thoughts on his performance this basho.
Yeah, so Koto Tebakari, he did very well. He had some trouble on his first bout, but other than that, he was pretty spectacular. I mean, obviously, he got 7-0 because that's what you need to get a Yusho in the lower divisions. And in the end, he went up against his stablemate during the playoffs, so that was pretty exciting. He said it made it easier, as it was quote quote just like practice, but
Just like, aye.
I'm sure being surrounded by that many cheering fans definitely pumped up the excitement for him.
Absolutely, and it was a good moment and all for his Oyakata. The pride that he must have felt, you know what I mean? A lot of Kachikoshis and his own son Kotonowaka doing so well.
Noticed
And
in the Makushita in particular, a lot of these guys may not make it to the top division because they'll be spending all their time writing out their name in calligraphy. There's some very long names. Tochi Kamiyama, what else? Toku no Musashi, Tsuru Bayashi, Sushi Manada. And I think when you're, if you have to choose a Shikono in sumo, just choose a one character one like Akebono. So much easier. And your career, you got more time to practice rather than learning how to write your name.
It's true enough.
So, moving up champions a wee bit to the Johnny Dan division, Kotetsu. What is your thoughts on him? Because I'll admit to you and to all our listeners that see this basho, I was quite busy and I was lucky to catch the first 2 or 3 Makuuchi bouts. So me watching the lower divisions was just not something that happened much this basho. So I'm even all ears and interested because I know, Mika, that you are an avid follower of the lower divisions to see who the up-and-comers are. So what's your thoughts on him?
I mean, he's coming back from an injury, actually. And so, trying to remember, he was out a good deal of last year. And so, before that, he was doing, usually about 4:30s, he'd get his Kachikoshi. But then he was out from about July until, I think, November. And then once he came back, his first time back, he was at 5-2, and then he took the Yusho this time. So he is... Unfortunately, I didn't look up what injury he had, but since he's been back, he's really making a dent and moving up the Bansuke.
So, bouncing up once again, Mika, to Sandanme. Now, the winner over there was Kanzaki at Sandanme 100. Did you happen to catch his final match and what the sort of aura was around that?
He's actually one that I did not catch, but I believe since he's Sandanme 100, he was one of the gentlemen who got to jump up the ranks. So this is I think his debut tournament. But yep, it is his debut tournament. So winning the Sandanme Yusho on his first time out, I think we are going to see, at least for a while, some decent performances from him.
Oh, absolutely. So Mika, once again, we step up to the next champion in the Makushita division. Kimbozan. Now, again, we have covered him in the news and that a couple of times, so we do know a little about him. How was he? Obviously, took that division championship. How did you find his basho?
So yeah, he won the basho and he was at Makushita 34. So he started off, mid Makushita. So his first few opponents were rather, a pushover. But he really is looking strong. I mean, he's part of Kisebeya. He has a great group of people to train with. So we'll see what happens, because at Makushita 34, winning the Yusho, he's going to be right up at the top of Makushita. So he's going to have much more difficult, much hungrier opponents next time. So we're going to probably see him possibly flounder a little bit, just like Nishikawa did this time, who barely scraped his Kachikoshi on the last day. So... But I'm excited to see the young man's performances because he's from Kazakhstan, and I mean they have their own form of sumo there, which is nothing really like our sumo. But so has a long history of the sport, so I'm interested to see where he goes from here.
Yeah, they have some interesting sports in Kazakhstan. I couldn't go, but they had sumo at the World Nomad Games, and I think last time might have been Azerbaijan, but they have stuff for horseback where the ball is a sheep's carcass without its head, and they throw that around instead of a little white polo ball or a football.
Well, I'm from Scotland, so we usually use a sheep head anyway. I don't know what's strange about that. I have no idea why you're making a joke about that. I'm quite offended.
There's a Scottish rishi in. He only got 4 wins out of 7 in Johnny Dan. His name's I.
I've actually sure I've seen his name about when I've been going through Banzukas and that, mate. That's funny. That's funny. So, I mean, we've touched on the champions to give them a wee mention for the lower divisions. Now, we cannot possibly have you on, Mika, and not bring up Akisayama. Now, I would love for you to give your thoughts on how his basho went and what he done and all of that, because again, he was someone else that I never even caught one of his bouts this basho, so it's going to be brand new information to me.
This basho was hard for me with him because he started off really strong. He was looking like he was fairly well rested. He was ready to go, but being up, I think, as silly as this is, I actually don't remember his rank. It's either Makushita 15 or 14. So he started off with some pretty difficult bouts. He did all right, but then he started to flounder. He went up against other former Jiro men, and lost a few. Unfortunately, he gave Ryoga his preferred grip, and he just got... Somehow, the very, very, very strong Ryoga managed to do an excellent throw against Akisayama, and he went tumbling down, and finally, on day 14, he finally got his Kachikoshi, which I wasn't positive he was going to get at that point. So, it was a bit of a rough basho for me.
Akisayama is full of surprises, but and one thing that I've got to give that guy his due in is he cannot be faulted for fighting spirit and motivation and willingness. It's unreal. See some of the injuries and the harsh falls down the Banzuka he's took, and he's just one of the very small percentage of Rikishi that are just Iron Men and keep going. And you've got to respect that about him, and I do respect that about him, and it is why I paid some attention to him and made me focus on him. So I'm hoping that he can at least fight his way back up a wee bit, and not remain too low before his career does end, because obviously it's very doubtful that he's got much longer left, many more years on the ticket.
I mean, we'll see. He might be one of those guys who's in his mid-40s and still there, because I do really think he loves the lifestyle. I'm pretty sure he's still single. I think he likes living in the Hay. I think he likes having a giant family of brothers. So, we'll see how long he stays. But, I mean, one thing I was really proud of him for was staying out while he had a broken jaw. So many people come back way too soon and get re-injured. And I was honestly pretty proud that he sat out so many basho to actually heal before coming back, even though it did mean falling almost all the way to the bottom of Makushita.
Did you know the Okami-san at Kisei, she speaks fluent English. She taught her daughter. So I was surprised this little girl was really quite fluent. I was trying to get my son to be a pen pal, but he was too shy.
Super cute.
Tomoko.